Greetings, viewer. Thank you for stopping by to this little chat. So I'm here to just basically discuss my hair journey, which I forgot to do on my channel. I apologize. So, as a young child, I always had short hair. During my youth, I would have it permed, or should I say, I had like the jerry curls, but my main one that I eventually kept doing was the straight perm. So by age 23, I decided to get the hair straightened in a hair salon here in London. Now, with my hair type, okay, because I have combination hair, I have 4C hair with like a slightly softened section. So it needs to be worked through. It cannot be slapped on the head and you just leave it there. It doesn't work that way. So with this hairstylist, she assumed that because she knows what she does, that it's her way or nothing. So I'm trying to explain to her that it needs to be worked through because of my type of hair. Now, the pain of the, like a burning, you girls who know when your hair gets burned from using a straightening cream, you know. So the scalp started to burn a lot. Now I'm trying to explain to her that she needs to work it through, but she's being reluctant to listen to me. By the time when she actually got over and I said, would you please check the hair? You could actually feel the heat radiating off of my head as to how hot the hair was and how basically she would have seen me trembling while sitting in the chair in discomfort. So with that, after she eventually washed it out, and then we went under the blow dryer, and when you go under a blow dryer, you know what, that's another extra heat being added onto the scalp again. My hair, following that time, once I got home, it wasn't the next day, I think it was probably day 2, the scalp started to seep. When we refer to seeping, it's like this whitish liquid that oozes out onto the scalp, which is like, I think it's like a protection to the hair follicles and the skin that it's been damaged in with the straightening cream. So once it was in a lot of places over my head where that had basically happened, where it was burning. It was where the seeping was, and then the hair began to stick down. What strands of hair I had was sticking down, glued to that the skin seeping. Like it was almost like a pus. Well, not quite pus, no, but it stuck to the hair at that particular time. Now, once the hair started to eventually, because I had to gently comb it out, eventually once it began to calm itself down, the hair began to break off. Now, at the age of 23, that was a bit of a shock to myself. I kind of tried, like every girl would do, hide it. Okay. Then it got to the point where more hair started to break off in different spots of my head, and it made me feel so uncomfortable that I had no option but to cut it off. So, age 23, young mother of 2, cutting one's hair off. It was, yeah, a choice I had to make. A hard choice, but I had to make that choice. Then, following that, it took about roughly a year for the scalp to heal itself. In other words, to get itself back to get together again. So I shaved it right down so that it was only just a little bit sitting at the front to try and make it look kind of some kind of hairstyle. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked when it was cut short because it was like you go in the shower, you can shower and rub the scalp and massage the scalp, which is what I was doing. And the skin started to calm itself down, and then eventually it was just relaxing, and it felt much better, and the skin began to heal. But this did take a long time for it to heal. Then following that, my next stage was, from that point I decided to take it in my own hands to look after my hair. This was eventually, once it started to grow a certain length, I was able to pick it up and like do my little braids and put some braids in there. By the time of, I think it was 2003, that's when I decided to go for locks. So I did pluck up the courage and go back again to the hair salon, but this time it was for locks and not for straightening. No, just to get the locks in. So we got the locks done in about 2003, and I maintain it myself now, which is I do the roots myself. So that is my journey. And the other thing as well with it, as my younger self always wanted to have longer hair. I didn't get it then, but I've got it now. And the reason why I do hair ideas on the channel, on my channel, is because one of the things that I used to hear from certain people is, oh, when you have locks, you can't do much with it. And I was like, yes, you can. It's all about what you do with your own hairstyles. And that's what I try to promote, is that there is no one particular style. There are many versions of styles of styling your hair. And that's one of the reasons why I like to style my hair, is to show people that things can be done with locks. It's not just one particular look. Thank you for listening to my story.